Hi, I'm Jenny Jaffe, and I'm the founder of Project UROK. My first real sort of battle with mental health issues was when I was probably around 10 years old, and that was the first time I can remember being suicidal. What I really remember about that is that I didn't know how to articulate what I was feeling, and I knew that I needed help, but I didn't know how to ask for it because I didn't know what was going on. I had this really, I still have this amazing family, and I remember just not wanting to hurt their feelings, and I remember really hoping that an accident would happen and that I would die and I wouldn't have to kill myself. But it just seemed way too scary to continue living. I'd always had OCD symptoms, even if I hadn't realized they were OCD symptoms. But by the time I got to high school, they were pretty difficult to ignore. I started having serious fear of contamination and coping with that by obsessive hand washing, taking my temperature obsessively. I had the intrusive thoughts that are characteristic of OCD, but I thought that I was just going completely crazy. I was having 2 to 3 panic attacks a day, and I was taking about 100 milligrams of Prozac, 60 of Buspar, and 3 lorazepam a day at that point. I dropped out of a bunch of classes. It was a really, really rough year, and I actually don't remember a lot of it. I was really severely depressed, and I really did not believe I was going to make it to graduation. It was a combination of, getting the medication right, doing a lot of therapy. I've been in therapy at this point. I'm 24. I've been in therapy most of my life. I really don't remember a time I wasn't in therapy. As a kid, it was for insomnia, but then, I think it's important to continue to go to therapy even when there's nothing in crisis at the moment, because you never know when something's going to sort of occur, and it just gives you this amazing foundation. And I keep finding myself wishing I could go back in time and talk to myself at 10, talk to myself at 16, and say, this is really hard right now. I know this is hard right now. I know you don't see a light at the end of the tunnel. But you are going to be so strong for all this. I not only made it to graduation, I made it to college. I made it to New York, 3,000 miles from home. And I have continued to struggle because, mental illness can be a chronic illness. I'm living such a full life that I really never imagined. I never imagined that anyone would date me, and I have an amazing long-term boyfriend. I never imagined I'd have friends, and I have this full social calendar. I have been able to do things I never in a million years thought I would be able to do, because I didn't even think I would let myself live long enough to do them. I have this really unshakable core in me, just knowing that I'm going to be all right. There is nothing anyone could do that would scare me, and there's nothing that could make me crumble, because if nothing that came before ever did, nothing can now. I know that there are a lot of people doing these videos who feel the same way, and a lot of people who are very brave, and people who are willing to talk about things that are very hard to talk about in order to try and give somebody else a hope that they didn't necessarily have. Thank you so much for watching this. Thank you to everybody for participating. Please continue to participate. If you feel moved to make a video, if you don't feel ready to, that's okay. The videos are here for you to watch, to hopefully take a little bit of comfort in. Everybody in these has been where you are before. Maybe not exactly, but I've been really to my own personal hell and back. And that's the key thing, is I'm back, and I'm okay, and you are okay, and you're gonna be okay.